hold them too accountable for situations until they have an opportunity to work with you and other members of their classroom one-on-one to attain a variety of skills. What I've given you on the suggested materials for the Math Center is to have these things available in your class. These are not expensive things. This isn't Mr. Bingo teaches you how to add, subtract, and divide and multiply in one easy step. These are children's work items. The floor absolutely is where they learn. You've got to be able to offer your child some experience during the morning, regardless of how structured you are, that they are able to explore and understand the concepts before they're held accountable. I'm all about integrating music with learning in children. I know you can't sing. If y'all heard me, my boys fight. When they were little, used to fight over who stood next to me in church because it's so bad. It's really, really bad. But I'm telling you, my children at the preschool just think I'm Pavarotti. They don't care because we're going to be singing about something that morning. So, you've got to incorporate music into working with little children. So don't hold back. Nobody's listening to you but them, and they don't care. But they know that that's how you're engaging them is through music. So I really encourage you to do that as often as you can. I'm a big manipulative person, okay? I'm all about manipulatives. And I really, really am begging you to incorporate a wide variety and use of manipulatives in your early childhood classroom. I'm telling you, they're not going to get it until they do it. So I brought some things, y'all got this stuff, but sometimes it just helps to hear it from somebody else. So I'm going to get away from this for just a second. When you're introducing a book to a child, especially a 3 or 4-year-old, reading a book to a child is one thing, but then to actually give them a copy of that book with the pictures in the book, I think they certainly cannot, attack and detact these words and read it to you verbatim. But if you introduce a story in an interesting way to a child, they'll be reading this thing all morning. And what we like to do is take a storybook and add a manipulative challenge with that book, so that these children are not just going to the bookshelf and grabbing a golden book of the 3 bears, but that they have something to cause them to want to pretend play, to reenact the story, to tell it their way. And I've got 3-year-olds that will read this book to you front to back. None of them are going to be saying the same words, but they're reading that book and they're telling that story. So as much as you can, try to incorporate Ziploc bags of stuff to go with the stories that you're introducing, and that way your children will increase their vocabulary. Oh, and they will notice so many details, so many more details than they would have if you had just read the story to them. Y'all, do not be reading a group of children a book that is half this size. They can't see, and they're not going to engage. If you don't ask your people at school for anything, the money for big books, please use big books with 3- and 4-year-old children. I'll tell you, Childcraft has done a wonderful job of incorporating a wide variety of big books. These things are hard to find, a good variety of them, but I've noticed that Childcraft has really put an emphasis on this the last couple of years. So as many big books as your school is willing to invest, that would be a huge recommendation for me, and I think that you will all grow to realize what an impact that will make on those children. How can you talk about yourself if you don't see yourself? What a fun thing to do, to look in a mirror and discover who you really are, and those types of things. This is nothing. I mean, I bought these at Walmart. I think I paid $1.99. But give children opportunities to get to know themselves. Simple things that we all take for granted, and simple things that we think young mothers are doing with their children at home, they're not doing. And I know some of you are young mothers, but let me tell you this. Y'all are all working. Everybody's working. But somebody's got to be there to help children go through a variety of experiences that a lot of us take for granted. So I'm talking about simple things of life We've got to be the ones to expose them to those things. If you are not putting Play-Doh in your class, 3-year-old and 4-year-old classroom every day, I'm telling y'all, this is huge. Fine motor development is just a huge part of growing up. And all they're knowing to do right now is use their thumbs because they're all punching on that stuff that y'all all punch on all the time. You cannot develop children's muscles in their fingers for learning the art of handwriting that is quickly becoming a lost art. Those types of skills you cannot do unless you give children opportunities and tasks where they will develop those little muscles in their hands. And it's not happening at home because they're sitting in front of the television or the computer. So I'm just encouraging y'all to go back to some of the basics that you all know, but I'm encouraging you to do those things that are quickly being lost in all this shuffle that we're doing. This is one of my children's favorite trade activities. I didn't explain that to you. In our classrooms at our preschool, all of our individual challenges to children are introduced on cafeteria trays. And let me tell you why. This offers a child an opportunity to have a confined space. If I were to set 6 puzzles that have all the pieces, don't put out a puzzle if you don't have all the pieces. Y'all are just driving them crazy. What is all of that about? I don't know. You can get another one at Walmart, throw it away, and get the one with all the pieces. But if I put the puzzles out on this table individually, and I put the puzzles out on this table on cafeteria trays, they're going to go to the cafeteria tray puzzles. Why? Because it's a confined space, it has a lip on it, and they can keep up with all their pieces. If that puzzle drops on the floor, they on to the next thing. Forget that. We have to have puzzle pickup time. I know all about puzzle pickup time. We got to have that. That's a separate deal. But if you're asking children to help, you know, you're introducing a skill to them with their puzzle to carry on with whatever thing you're using. Put it on a puzzle tray so that they don't have to go all over the room trying to catch the pieces. It's just a simple thing, but there are a variety of manipulative tasks that I think children can be introduced to and perform better and feel more confident doing if they've got a confined space. So these are readily available. I got these at the restaurant supply place. I mean, you can get cafeteria, go to the cafeteria and get the trays. It's just an easy thing to do, but in a preschool classroom, I'm telling you that you need some cafeteria trays. Another example is teaching children to sort, to use different objects to sort. What a great conversation this will be to see a child using these individual activities and say, well, which bowl is larger? Okay, then you got, well, which one's smaller? I mean, it just helps you be able to let children hone in on what you're trying to get them to do, rather than all this open space. It's just too much for them, especially at 3 and 4. So I really encourage you to use cafeteria trays when you're introducing individual skills.
What were those colored things that you had for?
These are farm animals. What? Oh, this is a little art paddle, a school specialty. You know, Kay, y'all all use Kay Flood. She's great. It's in school specialty. It's in any of the early childhood magazines. But when you're teaching children concepts about colors and primary colors and secondary colors, they love this, and they make up their own colors. You know, it's just a great tool. But again, it's a fine motor skill. I mean, this is a great tool. I love that little toy.
I'm glad you said that. Kay Flood. If y'all write down Kay Flood's name, because Kay Flood is who we use in Jackson. See, a lot of them are small town people. So Kay Flood
will change your life.
She is school specialty, and she can get you really good discounts out of school specialty, and also free shipping, 25% off of everything that's in the book.
Very affordable stuff. Very affordable. Yeah. Kay Flood, like the water company. Kay Flood.
Like KayFlood.com. No, it's in
Schoolspecialty.com.
Yeah.
School specialty, all smushed up together.